Okay, so my stalker has exposed me, and I have to now make a video explaining why I did what I did and why I'm sorry for what I did, because I am so sorry. The only problem is I haven't actually done anything. And I'm still sorry. I'm still so apologetic and wishing that there was something I could do to make it better, even though I know for a fact I haven't done anything. So yesterday, I log on to YouTube and I see that Adonis Paul, let's clear some things up. Adonis Paul is stalking me. That is what is happening. Adonis Paul is a creator on YouTube who is actively stalking me. He is using his followers to help him gather information about me that should be private, that should not be aware to him. He is stalking me. On November 5th, I asked a couple of people who I had received help from in the past for PayPal donations that I would pay back for loans. I shouldn't even be calling them donations, because I put in the message box of all three of them, will pay this back. I will pay this back. I am desperate and needing help, but I will pay this back. This was a week before I started working. This was a day before my food stamps would not be arriving, because nobody got food stamps in November. I did think that I would be receiving my general relief the next day, which is why I was telling people I will pay this back tomorrow. But I was in a situation where I needed help. I was panicking and I needed a couple of dollars. When I say a couple of dollars, I was asking for $25. And I lowered that price for the person who was actually able to help me to $20. And I paid them that $20 back the next day. None of this means anything. Me asking a friend for help and then paying them back the next day is nothing. But that's what I'm supposed to be apologizing to you for. That's what I'm supposed to be feeling ashamed for. That's what I'm supposed to be sitting here groveling and begging and pleading you to forgive me for doing, because I asked somebody for $20 and repaid them the very next day. That's my big crime. That's what I did wrong. That's what Adonis Paul has exposed yesterday. When I logged onto YouTube, that's what I saw. Mary asked somebody for money. Oh my God, Mary asked somebody for money. Oh my God, Mary asked somebody for money. How dare she? How dare this bitch ask somebody privately for money? What a worthless cunt, right? What a stupid, selfish, greedy whore. Who in the world would ever think that this person was a good person? She's asking people for money. She asked somebody for $20. She's got to be terrible. She should die, right? How dare? How dare? And as some of you are thinking, well, you're going a little overboard. Nobody's thinking that. Well, that's how stalkers think. And that's why he thinks it's such a big deal that I've been exposed for doing this, for asking for this help. Because a stalker sees every action that they are not aware and participating in as an infraction. I didn't ask Adonis Paul for money. Therefore, I have committed a grave sin, because my stalker wants me to ask him for assistance. My stalker wants me to need him. He needs me to need him. So if I'm asking people privately and discreetly, I'm not involving him in any way. And that angers him. And that makes him need to hurt me, need to let his followers know this horrible thing that I did. Even if the horrible thing is actually nothing at all. Even if the horrible thing was never any of his business. Even if the horrible thing doesn't affect him. Sorry. And it doesn't affect him in any way. My asking a friend for money does not affect my stalker. My repaying that friend the next day does not affect my stalker. The only way either of these things affects my stalker is in the fact that I did not ask my stalker himself. Now, he's going to say he's not stalking me. His argument every time I tell people this man is stalking me, this man is being extremely invasive in my private life. He somehow has materials that he is not supposed to have. Like, there is no reasonable explanation for this man having my private PayPal transaction history. I never showed it to him. It wasn't him that I was sending the money requests to, so he should not have access to those requests. He should not have access to how many people I sent them to. He knows I sent it to more than one person. I asked 3 people. And he says that I mass request, so he knows for a fact how many people I requested the money from, and this is information he should not be privileged to. That's my private banking information. Why is he privileged to that knowledge? Why does he know something that I did discreetly? I stopped asking for money publicly as often because he would target and attack me every time I did. So I started discreetly asking people when I needed help. And now somehow he knows when I'm privately asking people so that he can target me and use that against me. It's not a crime to need help, especially not when you're paying it back. And now that I've started working, I'm going to be paying back a lot more than I was able to before, because Friday I'm doing an 11-hour job. That's what I've been doing while y'all have been going through my financials and stressing yourselves out over the fact that I asked somebody for $20 last month. I've been working. I've done 2 6-hour shows, and now I'm doing an 11-hour show this weekend. It's why I haven't been online. It's why I haven't been posting. I've been working. I've been out doing things, earning money for myself. And that pisses him off. It really makes him mad to see me doing for myself. Which is why he needs to bring up, well, last month you needed help. Sure. I didn't do the first job until November 11th. Yes, I still needed help on November 5th. It's ridiculous, the things that he thinks that I should be ashamed for. And I'm able to see through it a little easier now than I was when it started, because when he started doing this, every trivial thing that he exposed about me really hurt me and really made me fear that somebody's going to hurt me. One of his thousands of followers are going to get mad at me for what I did and hurt me. And I didn't actually do anything. I don't know this man. I've never met him, and I don't want to know him. We're not friends. He has no right to be as invasive and intrusive into my life, into my personal, private life. And again, the reason he's going to say, well, you're a public figure. I'm not. I have less than 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. At this moment in my life, I am not a public figure. I might be one day, sure. I'm healing from some extremely traumatic shit that would take a lot of people down. It took me down. One day, maybe I'll be a motivational speaker for people with CPTSD. Maybe I'll be a motivational speaker for people who have been stalked online. I don't know. But at this very moment, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a public figure. Even at my job, I'm barely on camera. I'm a face in the crowd. I just look a little better than you. I'm not a public figure yet. He stands behind that because he thinks it makes it okay to stalk. But honestly, it's not okay to stalk celebrities. Just because somebody's famous and you like a movie they're in doesn't mean that you have the right to know everything about their life if they don't want you to know. If they want you to know, fine. But y'all need to fucking get a clue. Celebrities are not your friends. They're doing a job. Their job is to make you happy. They did that. They made you happy, and now you think that they're your friend because they made you happy. They're not. You don't have the right to know every aspect of somebody's life just because you're interested in them, or you think they're pretty, or they make you happy, or they make you laugh, or they make you cry. Somebody being famous and in your life because they're famous does not actually make them a part of your life. You need to actually have a real life with real people whose business you can get into. Celebrities deserve to have their own lives just as much as everybody else. So his argument that I'm a public figure and I deserve this type of criticism is absolute bullshit. But even if it was that I was a public figure and I deserve criticism, nobody deserves criticism over a $20 loan to get food in a month where food stamps were cut off for everybody. That's not something to be shameful. That's not. And this is just like Thanksgiving before last when he decided I needed to be ashamed of getting a plate of food from the homeless because I was downtown on Skid Row and they were handing out meals and I went ahead and got a plate of spaghetti because I was hungry and I needed help that day. I was walking through Skid Row because I couldn't afford 35 cents for the bus. But because I have a Section 8, Adonis Paul decided I was stealing food from homeless children. That one plate of spaghetti that was going to get thrown away because they were done passing out the food. They were packing it all up. But these are the infractions. These are the terrible things that I do that caused this man to expose me to his followers, to incite rage in his people, to target me and attack me and come call me names and say things to me, to mail me shovels. The allegations that I got away with murder only come from him and his people. And my family, but my family is his people. But for 6 years, they've been accusing me of murder. And no reputable channel has picked up the story. The police have not contacted me. The news has not contacted me. Like nobody's contacted me. And you would think if you were publicly exposed as a murderer, somebody would. They're lying. They've been lying. And they're grasping at straws to gain control because I'm working now. And the only control they have is when I'm sitting here broke and sad, staring at the phone, allowing them to belittle and berate me until I'm suicidal. If I've left my phone at home and I'm out making money and making friends, that's dangerous to their goal of controlling me and eventually killing me. Because targeted means for death. These channels have targeted me, and they are not going to leave me alone until I have killed myself. They've made that clear. Adonis Paul is stalking me, and I am afraid. I have spent years of my life afraid because this man thinks that I'm a public figure and thinks that it's his business to get into my business. And it's simply not.